Okay, one of our customers from Facebook, from our Facebook page, sent us an inquiry, and she was asking, I'm following the instructions on page 24 and 25 of the dress kit book to move a dart. It doesn't seem to fill the space. Is that okay? Should I just put paper under it? Okay, so yes, what I'm going to show you is in the practical way how you are going to move the bust dart and what is the steps that you need to take. I have here my bust dart, and then I have here in a green line, this is my designer's dart, and as I'm following the instructions as per Glenda, but in this case I am moving my bust dart. I'm going to move it to a lower position. It's like a French dart, not as quite as a French dart. Sometimes the French dart, it comes to the waist, and sometimes it comes lower. I mean, this is all designing. We are all designing. So now this is dart manipulation. So what it means is that whatever you do, we move the bust dart from here, we're going to transfer the bust dart to another area. In this case, I'm bringing the bust dart to a lower position in between the waist and the original position of the bottom leg of the dart. So the next thing I'm going to do, or the first thing actually, what I'm going to do, I stabilize my apex with a tape, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this dart. But before I do so, I already drawing some lines here. This green line here that is gonna go to the apex, these green lines here that are they are at the apex, they're called the designer's dart. That is the way we are always going to design with our bust dart. We take this the lines from the bust dart, and we're gonna move it here right to the apex. This is our starting point. So I'm just gonna use again this I'm going to use this little blue pencil here, and I'm just gonna draw my designer's dart again. Gonna draw the line here, coming to this leg of the dart, the top leg of the dart. Now I'm going to go to the bottom leg of the dart, and I'm going to draw it here. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut. So let's see here, I'm going to cut. And by the way, this is the pattern I prepared earlier, so I want to make sure we get everything right, so and save me time actually. There we go. So we removed the bust dart, this dart here, and now I'm going to cut across this new line. This is the new line, this is the new design that I'm going to make with my bust dart. And the next thing, I'm going to close, I'm closing my bust dart here. I'm gonna close this line here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put some tape here. Oh, just a minute, I've used this one before. Okay, I'm using a little bit of tape here. I'm closing my dart, and we have a new opening on my bust dart. Okay, so we have here a new opening on the dart. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to close this. We're just going to close this dart. We are going to add some paper in here, and we are going to redraw our lines again. We're going to redraw these lines again. So first thing we are going to do, we are going to tape this in position. all these instructions, just you find them in the dress kit book. This is in page 25. Step by step tells you how to do it. We have a new space here, so now I am closing this one here, like so. In the book it tells us to divide the dart. It is in page 25, step number 5. It tells us to divide the dart. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come from this point to this point here, and actually I'm going to mark it with a little bit of a, for you to see it. I'm going to mark it here. This is the end of the dart, and this is the other end of the dart. So I'm going to create a half point. I'm going to fold my paper here, my vellum paper here, and I'm going to divide this one. I'm going to find my divider point right here, and I'm just going to do a quick crease in here. So I have divided the dart again, and I'm going to draw a line here. So this is my dart, my half dart right in here. So there it is. Here is actually, if I put my paper in here, this is my, so it looks like it's bigger, but it's not bigger. Is that because as we go away from the center here, away from our from the body, the dart gets bigger, but it's not that it gets bigger, it's just it's an illusion actually. Okay, so we have here the center point of this dart. Now what we're going to do here, the next thing we're going to do is that from this point here, we're going to mark 1 to 1.5 inches away from the apex, and that is going to be our new bust point. So I'm just going to mark here 1.5 centimeter, 1.5 inches, or about is in between 3 to 4 centimeters. So this is my new point here, and if I come here with my ruler, here is here 4 centimeters exactly. So now what we're going to do, from this point here, we are going to come to this end here of our dart, like so, like so, and then I'm going to come from this point here to my new bust point right in here. And then what we need to do, we need to perfect this dart in order to get it right here in our side seam. So in order to do this, Elsa has a little system that I thought it was really neat. I'm gonna come here from my little point here, and I'm just gonna fold this paper, and I grab the bottom. You see, this is the bottom part of our dart, the bottom leg of the dart, and I am folding that leg down, and then I'm gonna come to this, my points here, and I'm going to make sure I just pretend I'm going to stitch this dart. I'm going to stitch this dart, and that is why I needed to make sure that I have enough paper here, because this is, we're gonna stitch this one, but then we are stitching this one here like so, and I'm going to secure this one with a little bit of tape here. Okay, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut this here, this new dart here, And as you can see, if you didn't have enough paper in there, you will not have enough fabric. So we need to make sure that we have enough paper here. Okay, so this, in this case, the folding edge of this dart is coming right to below to the waist, to the hip line, and we don't want to have all that fabric there. So what we're going to do, now that we have perfecting this dart, I'm going to take it out again, take this piece of paper out, because we don't want to have all this extension here. So what we need to do, what I like to do is to remove all this excess of fabric from here and leave only enough fabric that we need to sew this dart. So I think I'm going to do I can do a 1/2 inch, or I can do a 5/8 of seam allowance. I can do either way. So in this case, I'm going to do a 5/8 or 1 centimeter of seam allowance. So I'm gonna come from the folding legs of the dart, and I'm gonna put it here. And so I'm gonna come in here, and I'm gonna come in here. So what it means is that I don't have all this fabric sitting in here. So now I can cut this excess fabric from here. I'm gonna use my right hand, and I'm gonna cut this one here. So I don't have all this excess fabric. So but I have now, what I can do, now I can stitch my dart, which is gonna come to this point. I'm gonna stitch my dart here. I'm going to do it, pretend that I'm going to stitch it. So I'm gonna come to this point here. I have my fabric here. I'm gonna get some pins. I have some pins here. And I'm just gonna put it here, pin it in here. And there you have it. Your bust dart that is being moved. It's gonna come to this side. Your bust dart that is being moved from the original position was as you draw in your pattern, and you brought it in a little bit lower, and you have the right amount of intake, and also you have the right amount here when as you are. Let me take this one a little bit better. We don't want this to fall apart. So this is, we just move the bust dart to a new position, and we just close the dart, and we perfected the dart. So if you have any questions, please give us a shout. We are happy to help you. And this is it for now. This is Marta with Sure Fit Designs Brisbane. Thank you very much for watching.